Hello and welcome to the second season of Shaking Hands with the Past, our vodcast series where we explore the collection of York Archaeological Trust and learn something about the people who called York home during the 2,000 years of our city's history. My name's Philip, and this season we'll be looking at finds from the medieval period. Between the Norman conquest and the beginning of the Tudor period, York was a wealthy city. It had a thriving port and was run locally with its own Lord Mayor and sheriffs. It was also the religious capital of the north, with its own archbishop, a cathedral, and many churches and monasteries. The damp and peaty soil conditions in certain parts of York mean that some layers of archaeology here are very well preserved, allowing archaeologists to recover items that would normally decompose quite quickly. This is one such find. It's made of leather and dates from the late 1300s. It was found with a large quantity of leather-working waste, and on closer inspection appears to have been made from pieces of an old shoe, including the strap and buckle. But what was it and how was it used? Let's check in with our medieval resident of York. Can you offer any advice on this subject, Mistress Parkin?
Why, certainly. What you have there is a piece of archery equipment called a bracer. It is intended to protect the inside of the forearm while using a bow. The snap of the bowstring on the release of an arrow can catch the inside of the arm. Of course, I haven't really used a bow since I was a girl, but the men of the parish practice every Sunday after church.
Thank you, Mistress Parkin. That makes things clearer. We believe that this archer's bracer was made from parts of a long, pointed shoe known as a poulain. The wrist fastening is made from the recycled shoe's strap, making use of the original buckle as the fastening. Under King Richard II, other types of recreational game were banned in order to promote the use of the longbow for sport. The price of bows was controlled in order to make them accessible to all. This was not done out of charity, however. Medieval kings understood the usefulness of ruling over a civilian populace of well-trained archers who could then be called upon in times of war.
Archery is very important, you know. The defence of our kingdom relies on our bowmen. Too often the youth spend their time on idle games, such as football. Training in the longbow starts in childhood so that boys build up the strength to handle heavy draw weights. There needs to be enough force in the bow to loose arrows long distances. A good archer should also be able to keep up with the multiple volleys required on the battlefield, so a quick hand is a must. A good quality bracer will stop an archer being distracted from his duties. It can be quite painful if you're not wearing one, you know.
And we can't have that, can we? This ingenious example of 14th century recycling shows us how the equipment needed for the important pursuit of archery could be made available to those who didn't have the money to pay for new, purpose-made kit. Once a shoe had outlived its usefulness, it was converted to make a new item, preserving the leather and metal buckle instead of simply discarding them. By looking at the archaeology of the medieval period, we can learn lessons about making the most of our resources instead of letting things just go needlessly to waste. I hope you've enjoyed learning about our first medieval artefact. Join us again next time. We'll see another exciting find from York's archaeology and shake hands with the past again.